How is it going, everybody? It is Sean, or the Armchair Coach, and we are back. We are here in Season 4 of UTSA Dynasty now. And taking a look at how the offseason went for us, the roster went under, I would say, a minor change. We were actually able to retain a lot of the talent that we needed to keep, but we also made our team a lot better in places that it needed to get a lot better in. So as you can see, quarterback is going to be the first position that is going to maybe look a little bit different here, and will definitely look different here to start the season, as Briggs Cherry, a quarterback here from Dallas, Pennsylvania, that we brought in through the transfer portal with 210 NIL. The offseason got a little bit chaotic. Unfortunately, I got a little bit too big for my britches and made the unfortunate decision that we didn't need James Hand anymore. We didn't need his services due to him being normal dev and probably not going to develop very fast. As you can see, he's only at an 81 overall here as a junior. But we got into the transfer portal, shot our shot at a few prospects, and let me tell you, it did not go well. We got shut out immediately for him, and we ended up having to pivot. But we did end up finding Briggs Cherry pretty late and ended up winning the recruitment battle for him. And in the midst of winning his battle, we had felt like we were going to lose because we got locked out really late, because EA does that really annoying, stupid thing, cue me throwing the double middle finger gifs that I love throwing up when EA does some bullshit. But like they did that normal thing that they do where they lock you out on the last week of the transfer portal period because they think that you do not have the playing time grade or whatever grade it is anymore. So that was really frustrating. We still end up winning the recruitment though, but our quarterback room is getting very full. Big news in the quarterback room outside of that situation, though, is Gregory Fala took a huge step up during the offseason and is actually looking like he might develop into the future quarterback of the program. We will see, though. But we have a lot of money committed there. And then for the rest of the roster, the wide receiver room is a little bit concerning. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a lot better there. We had our eyes on a couple of highly touted receiver prospects, and we just kind of ended up losing the recruitment for both of those. We didn't end up bringing a tight end in through the portal like I was hoping. We do end up receiving some offensive line help as far as depth is concerned, but for the most part, everyone on our line is somebody we have already brought in. So this was mostly just a developmental season, and I had said at the end of last season that might be the case for us. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we definitely went out and we got ourselves some help. We brought in some guys that are going to get some playing time right away, probably like Kerry Harms, and we brought in a couple cornerbacks as well, or a cornerback. But, oh yeah, and Jermaine Santana Diaz is going to be the other guy that really gets some immediate playing time here. But we still definitely have holes on our roster. Dig it out, dig it. Dig it out. Anyway, that movie, that book and movie. That's one of the things I have read the Holes book and I have seen the movie. Both just very good. I love the book, love the movie. One of the very few exceptions where I feel like the movie does the book justice. But we have already applied our red shirts to everybody for this year. So everyone who you would expect to be getting a red shirt this year will be wearing one. The one thing I am going to do now that we're in year 4, we can start taking a look at who's on our roster and trying to get some numbers correct, because I definitely know there's a cornerback on our roster who's wearing a junky number. But I'm going to fix that up real quick, and then we will talk about our NIL budget. Okay, so I actually lied. The thing we're going to take a look at next here is actually our depth chart, because we need to talk about our wide receiver room. So obviously I said our wide receivers room is a little weak. However, we do have quite a bit of talent in here that we can make some use of. Like Emmett Longo here, our true sophomore wide receiver transfer that we brought in, ended up being quite talented. So he's actually going to probably be wide receiver 1 for us. So the question becomes, what do we do at 2 and 3? Parker Fulgham isn't that fast. and he's not getting any better. And I think Prince Hall, if we start him, might turn into a decent slot receiver. And then we're going to let Romel Stevens, the big contested specialist that we brought in last year through the transfer portal, be on the other side of the field. And that gives us a pretty potent outside receiver combo with, I think, potential to have a decent slot receiver. So we will throw him in there, and then Parker Fulgham will play that secondary slot receiver role. But that's all we wanted to change in there, and now we can talk about our staff and blueprint. Now we fired some staff at the end of last season, and I think we said that our goal here, we wanted to go ahead and hire a upper tier an upper tier fundraising department, and then we wanted to purchase a silver tier. A 20% increase, but it also costs 500 points. That is a lot of our budget. Okay, so maybe we stick. I mean, we've been doing fine as far as recruiting hours without a high tier like recruiting coordinator. So I think we go back to the bronze tier, and that's fine. And now we've got 1,700 points still to spend, because, yeah, that's pricey for us. Now, as far as our facility is concerned, we have new facilities, and we can put equipment in it. Like, once again, we talked about this in stream once we upgraded facilities, but it is give us a boost if we were to upgrade our facilities. Like if we spent 200 points for the trophy room, it would give us basically I think like a full season boost to our but like I don't feel like we can really spend any points in here right now. We just kind of have to be happy with the fact that a C- facility instead of a D whatever it was, a D- facility. So that helps us out in recruitment, and then as we continue to get better, we can once again think about spending some points in our facilities. But I don't think we can do that right now, when I think our priority should be making our roster better, which is where we come to next, and that is setting up our recruiting board for this year. Now, looking at the prospect list, so it looks like we are going to be missing a lot of talent. I was trying to think of something to say there. Obviously, we don't need any quarterbacks this year, so I think we will definitely avoid going after one in the high school class, to say the least. But as far as everything else is concerned, it looks like we are definitely going to need to kind of shoot our shot and pick up some talent. And I'm excited because it looks like we're going to have 2,500 NIL at least to go out there and pick up some recruiting or recruits. So we're going to go out there and we're going to make a splash, or make a splash within reason. We talked about it in stream that if we're going to go after a 4-star guy, we want to make sure that we're going after 4-star guys who I think are in pipeline, and that we can scout to the fullest and make sure that they are not going to be busts. Because I don't want to spend the 230 NIL kind of price tag that we put when we scouted Tim Skura, and then he ends up being just junk like he was. I mean, we had Tim Skura on our roster for a year, and then we literally just pulled his NIL because he sucked. We sent him packing, gave him his backpack, some snacks, sent him on his way, and I'm sure he's probably balling out at Chongqing State or whatever. But, like, you know, we will move on with that, and we will try to find some 4-star prospects that we think are a little bit cheaper and talented. So I'm going to go ahead and set the board up. We're going to take a look around and try to fill our needs, and I will be back with you when we've got some recruits to scout. So we are in here in our recruiting list, and this might be a little bit crazy. Probably about 1,000 NIL plus of guys in here, And as you can see, we have 2 5-star prospects that we are going after. We have a quarterback that I understand we don't need, but the plan is we're definitely letting 1 or 2 of our quarterbacks in our quarterback room walk after this season. I want to scout these guys first and see if we are... Okay, 91 speed contested specialist off the bat is already insane. Definitely keep him around. What about Emmanuel Yoshivash? Is he 92 throw power and 82 speed? He's a little bit slow for dual threat. He's actually a bust. Oh, okay. Well, that is unfortunate. That means we will have to remove him from the board because there's no way I'm going to spend the NIL he's asking for. And that's what I was talking about in stream too, that just because a guy's asking for more NIL does not mean that he is a better player, because he is not. And we don't need a quarterback. It was just we were looking at 5-star prospects that are on the board. And so honestly, maybe we take a look here at the running backs and try to find... Because we were trying to be really smart about things and go after players that were in our pipeline. But there were no 4-star options, really. There is John Combs here, who is a East-West playmaker who has got a really weak pipeline. And we are also going after Bruce John. And I think we will just go after I think, you know what, honestly, we will hold off on that and go after a transfer portal back, I think, to fill in that other slot. And then we will try to find a tackle, maybe. I don't want a raw strength guy. A well-rounded tackle would be electric to have. I see that there are a couple guys, but no one really in a good pipeline for us. And that is the big problem. Like, a lot of guys are Georgia, Texas. I mean, we have a Texas pipeline. I don't know what I'm saying. Like Missouri, Utah, Massachusetts. And unfortunately, he's a pass protector. Otherwise, I'd say that one might be... Ooh, okay. Does he have Michigan on his board? Oh, I feel like we're setting ourselves up for failure with that, because there's no way that Michigan and the other schools that are on his list don't go after him. So I think we go after like a highly ranked 3-star tackle here, and we're going to try to find someone with some great size. So give me a moment here, and I will... We ended up adding another tackle here, Del Beatty. He's got great size. He's from Buford, Georgia, but he's only a 3-star. So probably a better chance for us to actually enter and be in that recruiting. Now, we have spent 60 points here. We have 440 left and 13 players to scout here. So I need to do a little mental math. So we should have enough to scout everyone else on our board here. However, we will not have much pointage left over. So Bruce John here looks like he has some pretty decent stats to start here. Very similar speed-wise to the other elusive bruisers we've brought in. They're definitely a little bit slower to start, and I think it will be worth the investment if we get one with good development trait to invest in that speed early, and then that way we can just dump into their actual bruiser traits. So we'll keep Bruce John on the board for sure. Let's see, Finau Hu is our next target here. He is looking pretty slow, like very slow for an elusive route runner, like to the point that I don't want to keep him on the board for the price he's going to cost us. You know, the hope is that we bring these 4-star guys in and they start sooner than later, and I don't think that's going to be the case for a guy like him. So that's unfortunate that that doesn't work out. We'll have to go back to the drawing board on him. And then honestly, it's the same kind of logic that we'll use here. We'll scout these 4-star guys here. Pat Holly here definitely looks like he's going to be a solid guy right off the bat for us, which is exactly what we want out of these guys. And let's see, what about Jay Tutt? He's a little bit slow, but he can definitely develop with a little bit of time. And that is all of the 4-stars. We didn't add too many. Definitely try to keep ourselves in check as far as that is concerned. Now we have to go back and add another wide receiver. And another thing that I've really noticed here in the first 4 years of doing this dynasty, and honestly just in general, is I feel like we have not seen almost any speedster archetypes. I'm going to search it up here. And we don't want anything lower than a 3-star, but we will keep everything else here, and we will see what pops up. And as you can see, like, there's definitely some options here. Not a ton in our pipeline. We've got Sammy Antwine, maybe. 61163. Okay. I'm not opposed to going with a speedster. There's also maybe a couple... Ooh. I could try to go for a 3-star. He's got good size. Better size than the other guy on the list who's... I mean, that Florida pipeline is going to go crazy for the teams that are in it. Mississippi, I feel like, is a pretty good spot for us to try to make our run at a speedster. So we're going to add Sammy Antwine here to the board. And now, what do we do as far as trying to... I mean, we've definitely got to scout him. And then, essentially, it becomes as... Okay, so scouting him and putting him on the board was a great idea, as we can see that he is absolutely electric. 97 speed and 96 acceleration. Not a great route runner at all, but that is something we can develop. Once again, you cannot develop that speed. That is something you are given, God willing, at birth. So now our priority becomes, how do we distribute the 290 points we have left? Because now we don't have the points to scout everybody. I definitely want to make sure our tight end here is a quality prospect, and thank goodness he is a gem. We have been dealing with some really mediocre to poor tight end play, to say the least, and to say that we've needed a better tight end prospect is a huge understatement. So finding one there is huge. We scout one of our defensive tackles, and I think we're okay leaving the other one unscouted here. And then we'll take a look at our Mike linebacker prospect as well, as he is also a 3-star gem here. So we are off to a very good start finding some good quality players to add to our board, because we are not at a point, I think, as... Oh, okay. So Arsenio Salter here is a bust. So good thing we scouted him. We'll remove him from the board, and we'll have to add another free safety and kind of put some blind faith that he will be a quality player for us. And then, how is Del Beatty here, the guy that we added because he had great size? He is a little bit of a project, I would say. Low 70s for most of his blocking stats, but once again, you're talking about a 3-star guy that will most likely sit redshirt on our team for a year, and then we can unleash him when he's had a year of development. I mean, the size is there, so it's just about whether or not we can develop the skills to go along with it. And then we've got 140 hours left, so that means we can scout 3 more guys fully. We'll go ahead and scout Ramon Maryland, the tackle on the other side, and he is also a bust. Oh boy. Okay, so definitely a mixed bag. We'll spend some points on our edge rusher here. He is good to go. And then our Sam linebacker, we will scout him fully. And then we still do have 50 hours. I think we want to invest that into scouting one of the 2 guys we have to add to our board now. So we went ahead and we added, where we had to remove what? A free safety, right? And what else was it? We added a tackle, that's right. So we'll take a look at the tackles, and we will see what there is to see here, and then I will be right back. Okay, so we've added 2 more guys here. We added Kerry Peterson here, a 4-star guy, and I think we're okay leaving him mostly unscouted. We're definitely going to go ahead and scout Darrell Avery, and he is also a bust. Oh my god, I'm going to bust. No, wait, no, not like that. No, wait. No, I'm going to bust my head open. That's what I was trying to go for. A rare struggle finding quality prospects on the offensive line, I think. We have, I think, a couple good options, I think, still here. But we have to, really get picky. I'm not spending 185 NIL on a raw strength guy. I can't get behind it. And we want to find someone with some decent size here. So, is there anybody with... who's over 6'5"? We got a couple agile 6'6" guys. Okay. So I guess we'll take this. A 6-foot lineman is crazy. Hold on. I could have sworn I just saw a 6'6" agile lineman in the 3-star pipeline. Or am I crazy? Or was it raw strength? Another 6-foot lineman. There he is. All right. So we'll add Marquise Gammon to the board here. And we will see if he ends up being any good. But I do want to put some points on Kerry Peterson, and he's got some pretty good zone coverage to start. So I think we can live with that being our recruiting class to start here. And once we get in the season, it'll be interesting to see how these recruiting battles go. This is the first time we're really setting ourselves up to go up against these other powerhouse teams for these 4-star recruits, and we will see how our UTSA Roadrunners are able to handle that challenge. As you can see, this schedule here this season is looking like we are going to be free of having to play a super team to start the season. However, we are going to replace this FCS East matchup with, just something a little bit less cupcake-ish. It might end up being more cupcake-ish. We'll put App State on the schedule there. It's just, we hate playing FCS schools. It's just way too easy, and we like having somewhat of a challenge for our team to go up against. But anyway, so we'll set up everything for the season, and I'm excited to see how a higher tier fundraising coordinator does for us as far as our end of season NIL. Now, we do have to take a look at our AD expectations and see what we are expected to accomplish this season. We are already achieved on upgrading to premier facilities, so we do need to win 2 road games this year, and I think that we can absolutely achieve that. And they want us to win the conference title this year. Okay, so it would appear that our athletic director and coach chair are on the same page here, where we think that this is the season where we should be ascending and taking over the American Conference here, as we will set up practice for the first time, and then I will reconvene with you once we have gotten our week 0 recruiting strategy down. Okay, so as you can see, our NIL budget has shrunk by a significant margin, but that is the price we pay to bring in good talent. But man, I do feel like the money that we just got put in our wallet got sucked out expeditiously. I don't know why everything I'm saying is sounding so questionable today. You guys are just going to have to ignore that. But as you can see, we have 1,200 points left, and we've gone ahead and given everybody a scholarship and given them what they are expecting in NIL, except for the guys who aren't expecting NIL any. God, I'm gonna Hulk out. Anyway, we are going to give the guys who aren't expecting any NIL a little bit of NIL, because that'll give them a lot of a bonus towards wanting to come towards our school. And we have 20 points left over here, so we're definitely going to throw a little bit of extra pointage at some of our top guys here on the board. And then that's what we will do for week 0. And week 0 is just one of those weird weeks where we're just getting the points down and seeing what happens, where we're falling in these recruitments. I mean, we might get locked out here really quickly on the guys that we try to go out for. Of all of the recruitments I expected us to get locked out on, that was not the one. So we will take a look at how things are shaking up here, and then I'll get back with you. We are maybe losing our mind a little bit here, and we are sending a huge NIL offer towards Sammy Antwine because, I mean, for all of these 4-star guys, it's looking pretty bleak. It's looking like we are not going to be able to even sniff at getting into some of these recruitments. I mean, Pat Hawley's about to enter his top 5. We're not even in consideration for some of these guys. And I don't know how we're ever going to get into those recruitments because we just don't have shit in our pipelines. In the way this game functions, it makes it impossible for us to develop any pipelines. So we're just kind of at the mercy of what we can do, and we can't compete for top-tier guys in these states because there are just so many programs around us that are better. So we're just like constantly like latching onto the 3-star talent, which if you're looking here at the 3-star guys we're going after, we're not even having success at that either. This recruiting class might end up in really rough shape, and that's going to suck. Because just like I thought during the offseason, you know, we've got this big NIL budget now, and we can go out and we can make the most of it, but not so much, I guess. I mean, I guess we can go after NIL talent in the 3-star range. It costs more, but yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit heartbroken. So I'm going to add some replacement guys to the guys that we ended up removing, because we ended up taking the 5-star guy off of our board because we're not going to be able to stay in the recruitment because USC entered it and they've got a 5-star pipeline. So just not going to torture ourselves by being in a recruitment where we're just not going to win. So I will throw some new guys on the board here and we will take a look at what we find. So we ended up adding a couple of guys here. We added Daquan Fouts here, who's a JUCO guy. We're just kind of at that point with the defensive tackle room where we just need to get some guys in, and despite the fact that he's a JUCO player, it'll be the depth we need to be out of bad position in that room. And then we also add in Josh Bethel here, who is another speedster, and he is from Bethel or Cibolo, Texas. And I think with the points we've got left, I think we've got to just continue to up our ante for these 4-star guys if we're going to have any chance. And, I mean, we can't really back down on the 3-star guys we've got either, unfortunately. So we just kind of have to swallow our pride and just continue to send the house light at these guys, and then hope that we can climb our way into some of these 3-star recruitments down the board, as I will put an extra 5 on Mr. Glenn Thomas there. But recruiting is done, and I will tell you, we haven't even taken our first snaps with this team, but I already want to run through a brick wall wearing, I don't know, a cactus coat. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine something painful. I'm in pain. Wubba lubba dub dub. We are up against Appalachian State here, and I'm excited to see how our team performs here with the immense amount of talent we've got on the team at this point. There's no reason why we shouldn't come out today and absolutely be the better team. So, first game of the season, let's hop in here and see what happens. Okay, it is game 1 of season 4. The expectations on our roster are high. The AD expects a national, or not a national championship, a conference championship this year. We could hope, we could pray for a national championship this year. I don't think that's realistic, though. But we are in a 3rd and 7 situation in our first snaps as the controlling player here. And with our new starting quarterback, we're going to drop to find Deuce Lawrence and pick up a quick first down. He's already thrown for 42 yards in the air. And we will see how we like having a pocket passer such as Briggs Cherry controlling our offense here, as we're going to drop back. We're going to give Romel Stevens his first chance of the year, as he's going to go up and catch that. That's not a catch? There's no way that's not a catch. Does his foot touch? Is that his foot touching? Yeah, I guess his foot does touch out of bounds first. So that's disappointing. We'll end up kicking the field goal here, or not, because the quarter's going to come to an end. Oh, they reviewed it and overturned that for a touchdown. Okay, we'll take it. We'll kick the extra point here, and then we'll hop back into the moments. But I had thought that was a touchdown here, and I'm ashamed. I'm sad now because we didn't get to celebrate that as being a big play. But we will take a touchdown here on our first drive against App State. We'll hop back into the moments now and let our CPU take over for a while as we are driving once again. We are on the 19 with a 3rd and 8. They're calling this a red zone opportunity. However, we are needing to pick up a first down before anything else, and we will find a wide open Emmett Longo here, the transfer receiver that we brought in to be that big play receiver on the outside that we are now missing with James Madison II graduated and on to better things. And we will hand off to Deuce Lawrence here on second down. Can't pick it up, or I guess first down. Forgot that we picked up a first on the last play. But it's going to be Deuce Lawrence again here on second and goal, and App State's ready for it that time. They blow it up at the line, lose a little bit, and it's going to be third and down. Third and down. I hate when I do that. It's going to be third and goal. We're going to go give Emmett Longo his first chance as a UTSA Roadrunner, and a little bit too much oomph on that one from our new quarterback. Have to get the timing down, I think, a little bit. So fourth and goal here. We're going to get a little bit aggressive as we see the pressure coming, but manage to dump it off to DJ Dugard Jr. in the end zone. Touchdown, Roadrunners, and we take a 2-touchdown lead here as the first quarter winds down to a close. And good start offensively as we have scored another touchdown here, and we are in the red zone for another opportunity as the second half is quickly approaching. And we'll hand off to Dugard Jr. who's going to wait, make somebody miss, and get into the end zone. So this offseason, we really invested in his explosiveness, and you saw that on full display on that one as he makes a couple of guys miss and gets into the end zone here. And we are now into the second half as App State finally gets on the board, but we have another red zone opportunity here. First and 10, and we've been able to turn to the passing game a little bit here to open up the season. We are playing I would say, not super high-tier opponent here in App State, but the fact that we've had such success moving the ball in the air to start the season is definitely positive growth, as we'll hand off to Dugard Jr., and he cannot find anything open. So second and goal here, and we will look to the passing game on this play. And nothing doing, so our pocket passer, who has some wheels, will roll out and score a touchdown. So Briggs Cherry adds the cherry on top of the drive for a touchdown, and we will go up by 28 in the opener as we will get our first defensive moment nearing the fourth quarter. In fact, we might get to the fourth quarter before this ball is snapped. But what a performance to start the season. So we've said so many times that we want to come out and start off strong, but today we've really come out there and done that as we score yet another touchdown in this game. I will be ecstatic to go in here and look at the stats and see how we performed here in our first game of the fourth season. With all of this talent on the roster, I think we are in shape to compete. As we will watch them continue to push the ball downfield a little bit. They're going for it on 4th and 5 here. App State is a good football team, and I think in real life they are a lot closer to being a real contender of their own, as we cannot time that up. And we have Alan Anger down hurt, and he looks like he's holding something pretty major there. A little bit concerning. They'll kick the field goal. We have the ball inside the red zone yet again. App State not really able to do much against our offense on defense, it would seem, as we will hand off to Deuce Lawrence, and he will get in the end zone. So this game has been all road runners, and how many times have we been able to say that in this series? So game one, what a debut for Briggs Cherry and the squad, as we will look in the stats here and see how the team performed, as Briggs Cherry here, 17 of 29 for 228, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. So a little bit of trouble keeping the ball on our side of on offense, but DJ Dugard Jr. having an electric game on the ground, really carrying the offense as he has done so many times. And Briggs Cherry really doing some stuff on the ground as well, as he had 6 carries for 47 yards and 2 touchdowns of his own. And then receiving-wise, Ramel Stevens had the biggest game here, 5 for 87, no touchdowns. Emmett Longo had 5 for 61 in his debut. And then Prince Hall only with 2 catches today. And then defensively, not a ton of tackles for loss, no real sacks. So that's kind of disappointing to start the season against a team that we really should be getting a ton of pressure against. Not producing really any is sad, but we'll call it a warm-up game. Maybe once we get against some real competition, our defense has some extra motivation. But a win is a win, and we will happily take one here in the first week of the season. Okay, so we have reached week 2 here. We'll set up practice and then take a look at recruiting. I think we have a pretty positive recruiting update, but I will take a look and get back with you. Okay, so here is the update. The big guys that we have gone after, we are fighting. We are in it. We are in position to enter their top 5 and have a shot to be in it at the end of their recruitment. We can up the packages if we need to, but we have already spent so much to get, I think, a truly dominant deep threat for this team. And everyone else here, we really just can't afford to go more or go crazier than what we are going crazier for this guy. So we scheduled some guys for a visit next week against Eastern Michigan. That should be a game where we can really showcase our talent and get an easy win. Once again, potentially put ourselves in good shape for end of recruitment for those guys. Now we'll hop in here to this game against Texas State, a team that we haven't had many issues with in the last couple of years, but you know how this game works. Anything goes. So game 2, let's hop in here and see how our Roadrunners do on our home turf again. Inside the Alamo Dome once again, as our Roadrunners will take the field for the second time here. And we will take on the Texas State Bobcats at home, trying to get a second win on the season. Already, we are on defense, it would appear, as Texas State has driven the ball down our field. And it looks like they had themselves a big play. And they are now 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line, as they are going to run the RPO, and we cannot get off our blocks, and Texas State is going to score a touchdown early here. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't take anything for granted against these teams, because then they come out on their first drive and they do something like that. So 4th and 2 for us on our first attempt here on offense, and we're going to hand the ball off to Deuce Lawrence. Try to make the man on the outside miss, can't do so, but we will move the change, and we will score a touchdown, long run on that drive. No doubt that it was probably DJ Dugard Jr., a big play guy there. So 3rd and 9 now for Texas State, who once again is driving the ball inside of our territory with relative ease, unfortunately. And their quarterback's going to look to throw, but he is going to get dropped by Alan Angerer. We have been saying that name quite a few times since he has signed on and made his debut on the field. And I think we are going to continue to do that as he makes his name known here in San Antonio. So 3rd and 3 here, we will look to the pass on 3rd, and we will look for Emmett Longo, who will catch the ball in traffic, and we will move the ball and score again. We have another opportunity in their red zone on the 2-yard line, and we're going to happily hand off to Deuce Lawrence and score a touchdown. Oh my goodness, it is so nice to have a roster that can score the football, as Texas State is giving us a tough game, all things considered, as it is 21-17 here as we are nearing halftime. We've got a 3rd and 3 situation here, going to look to pick up the first down. We're going to look to Emmett Longo, who's going to fight to catch it through contact, and he will hang on. And we have another 3rd down alert here. It's 3rd and inches on the 27. I think you can imagine what we might want to do here, as somehow DJ Dugard Jr. does not have the star underneath him. I don't know how that works, considering how great of a football player he really is. But we won't think too much about that here as we prepare for this red zone opportunity, or I guess the 2-minute timeout. We talked about this quite extensively last season, how much I hate having to wait for that. But 2 minutes to go here. Deuce Lawrence on the carry will pick up a good chunk of 8. And on 2nd and 2 here, we will absolutely try to give one of our receivers a chance, although Texas State will call a timeout to interrupt our play call there. Happily will allow you to do that. We'll call another play here, and let's see if we can find something open We've got a quarterback who we definitely invested in his arm power, as that is caught in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Roadrunners. That is Prince Hall, the gadget receiver that we haven't really seen too much of up until this season. He's been on the roster all 4 years, but this season he's finally been kind of good enough to make the team or make the field, as he will make a huge catch in traffic and hang on through the contact to give us a big lead here, as we are now up 15 as the second half is going by. But Texas State does not want to lose this football game. They are keeping themselves in it by whatever means necessary, and we have yet another third down opportunity here, and we are going to try to throw the ball for the first. We're going to give it to Prince Hall and can't hang on through the contact this time. And we will have 4th and 3. They're going to give us the ball and tell us to go for it. We'll oblige them. Do we maybe go... Maybe see if Emmett Longo really is that one-on-one guy down the field? Maybe not that time, as they were letting the safety play some coverage downfield. So don't want to risk a turnover here. Not in a close game like this. But 3rd and 6 here. We'll definitely play for a shorter 4th down, and we will pick up the first instead. Always happy to let our ground game pick the first up for us. And now we are in the red zone, given the ball here. Chance to go down and take a 2-touchdown lead and make this a really tough comeback for Texas State here, as we will drop the ball off to Ramel Stevens, and he is so close, but not quite here, as one of Texas State's guys is going to be a little bit banged up, it would appear. And on the next play, I think we can, gives us the QB sneak option. Shoot, why not? Let's see what we can do. And we will fall forward and get it. It's like the first time in all of UTSA Dynasty that we have managed to actually fall forward into the end zone for the score. But it is a 42-27 game here. And Texas State is now in desperation mode. They're going to start going for it here on 4th down, as it is 4th and 9 for them, deep in our territory. They're going to look to throw, and despite the fact that our receiver was looking, or our cornerback was looking right at the ball, he is going to decide that Texas State needs a little bit of a break and let him catch the ball anyway. And it is 4th and 10 once again now, as they will once again look to throw. We'll try to play the best coverage we can, and we can't catch the ball. It's going to be a Texas State touchdown. They are doing everything in their power to let Texas State try to win this game. It is 3rd and inches. They're playing press on our guys, and that is a bad idea when we've got the kind of talent on the outside that we do, as we're going to go let Emmett Long go. He doesn't even have to go up and get it. He just has a step on the cornerback, and we will lay out a beauty with Briggs Cherry there to put the cherry on top of this game, perhaps, as they are going forward on 4th down now. Yes, I will be saying to put a cherry on top of as many things as possible now that he is our quarterback. And 4th and 7, Texas State's going to look to throw. They're going to find the receiver short and get the first down, call a timeout immediately. And they are going to continue to move the ball down the field with relative ease, which really worries me as far as how we're going to play against a team like a Memphis or a Tulane when it comes down to it. And they're throwing the ball down the field, but our cornerback, is that Paul Howard, is going to be there to seal this game for the Roadrunners. So despite a valiant, and I mean valiant, effort from the Bobcats, we come up on top in this game, putting up 49 points in a second straight showing here, as Briggs Cherry has a huge game through the air for us. 366 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then on the ground, pretty solid performance between all 3 of our guys. Briggs Cherry continues to be a really solid running quarterback for us. And then receiving Emmett Longo has a big game through the air for us, or 11 catches for almost 150 yards and a touchdown. And then Prince Hall, 6 catches for 94 and 2 touchdowns. So a guy who hasn't seen the field much so far in his career, really making his impact felt in this game. And then I almost forgot about our defensive stats. Were we finally doing anything pressure-wise? Alan Angerer sure was. 3 tackles for loss and 3 sacks in this game. What a performance from him. And as I said, I feel like we are going to continue to be saying his name as he gets better and better. So we have reached next week. The recruiting update is concerning. We are not in first place for quite a few players that we would definitely like to have in our roster here, as Briggs Cherry wins American Player of the Week, which is, like, once again, I think the first time we've seen that at all in this dynasty. We'll set up practice here, and then we'll take a look at our recruiting for this week. For recruiting is these 4-star recruitments, we're still, like, we're in this really, like, shitty situation where we don't know anything about them, and the only thing we really know is what their deal breakers are, and we can pitch them on that as far as when they come for visits, but we can't switch to cells because we have no idea what the fuck they are. So we could be guessing in the dark all day long, but it's only going to continue to hurt us more than if we just continue to put points down to try to get those cells out of them. Now, maybe with a visit this week, we learn a little bit more and we can swap over to cells. But we still have 20 points left over here. We're falling out of the race here for Viliami Hope, so I'm going to put some extra points on him. And then we're in decent enough position for everyone else. So, like, we'll just throw the 10 points on Fouts here, who we're not as good a position in for. Now, that brings us to this Eastern Michigan game. I was trying to, like, recover from what I said. There's just no saving it. There's going to be I feel like there's going to be so many moments in so many of my videos where I'm either, like, correcting something I'm saying or just realizing that I said something completely stupid that doesn't make sense. Because once again, I start talking and then hope what I'm saying ends up sounding smart by the end of it. And I wish I could get out of that habit. But when we're commentating live on these beast events that are happening for our UTSA Roadrunners, it's kind of hard to sit there and keep myself collected. But rant aside, again, it is time for this Eastern Michigan game. Let's hop in here as we continue to play against teams that we should have no problem beating. We'll put ourselves in, like, our alternate uniform for today, and then I will see you guys in game. Okay, so we are in the Alamo Dome for a 3rd straight week here. I feel like we haven't had too many instances of that. Last year we were on the road for long sections at a time. I can definitely remember that. But we are here at home for a 3rd time with recruits in attendance and the headless fans, of course, as we will play Eastern Michigan and see how our squad does. We are 16th in the country already to start this season. It would appear that we have finally opened the eyes of the college football world enough that we are given some pretty serious consideration by the polls here, as we are going to come out on 2nd down and give one of our big, tall receivers a chance to go up and get it, or not, as I guess I tapped the button too early, and it is now 3rd and down. 3rd and down, I keep saying it! Oh my god, how many times can one man say 3rd and down in one episode of UTSA Dynasty? Stay tuned and find out, as we are going to send a man in motion here and just barely get the snap off, and we're going to have to roll and just throw it away. There's nothing there. And then on 4th and down, I'm going to kill it. Oh my god, how many times am I going to say it? I have to edit out what I just said before that, but oh my god, I'm so tired of saying it, as we're going to throw one up and try to get an opportunity, and there's just nothing there. So Eastern Michigan plays some solid defense on that drive. We still are up 7-0 so far in the game, so we will take that as they are here on 3rd and 5, and they're going to play the RPO. We're going to try to play to get around the blocks, and we can't make the tackle. That has been such a common theme throughout the course of this entire dynasty, where we just can't make tackles. And it is now 3rd and 17 here, and we're going to come out here in man coverage. We're going to force them to beat us man-to-man through the air if they're going to do that, as their quarterback's going to fire one to their tight end, who manages to catch the ball short of the sticks, however. And they are going to be once again on offense with a 3rd down here. So our offense looks to be struggling here in this game, which is not the greatest showing, as we are going to come up and make a big tackle with Taiwan Cox and hold them short on that drive. And now we have our opportunity on offense. 3rd and 6. Have a couple of options, I think. Prince Hall could be wide open over the middle here, and he sure is, as we're going to put it right on him, and he is going to pick up the 1st down. And it is now going to be 3rd down as we look to pick up another first, but it is going to be a long situation here. They look to be playing pretty good coverage, so we're going to step up with our pocket passer, and he does a great job with his legs. So truly a dual threat in the sense that you don't expect Briggs Cherry to come out and just take off and run, but he does, as they're going to double Emmett Longo here, and he can't make that catch. So they're really trying to avoid the one-on-one matchups there on the outside, because they know that we have the talent to beat them in that fashion, as we will drop one off to our other big receiver, Romel Stevens, and leave ourselves with 4th and inches. And of course, we are going to pass, or going to hand off to one of our explosive running back options here. It's going to be Deuce Lawrence this time, and he will pick us up a 1st. I mean, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of him on the field when we are on the field, but DJ Dugar Jr. is definitely leading the way when we look at the stats, as we will hand it off to him, and I would argue that that was a touchdown, but okay. I definitely feel like he was in before, as we are, I mean, why not go give him the opportunity to go get himself a fade, or I don't know what happened there, but we do put it on him for a touchdown. I mean, I was trying to give him a fade, and it just wasn't popping up in the hot routes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb. Yeah, yep. I know you're shaking your head. Fuck you, pal. All right, we're going to cut with Deuce Lawrence, though, and we are going to pick up a big 1st down before the 2-minute warning appears. And once again, like, I feel like we definitely have relied on running the ball a pronounced amount less. However, that's because we really had some success throwing the ball for the first time. Routes are getting open downfield. Our receivers are creating some separation. But how long will that last, you know? And I think the biggest thing is our offensive line is actually holding up and getting us some blocks. So we're not feeling like swarmed every play. But that time, Eastern Michigan is playing some really good coverage and getting some pressure at us, as it'll now be a 3rd and very long. We're going to look to just try to pick up a chunk here, and there is nothing, nowhere for us to go. So I can't talk any sort of positive about our team without us immediately falling apart. This has been proven time and time again, as we are going to try to drop a punt and pin them deep, as we will pin them at the 15. All things considered, this has not been a strong offensive showing for us. 14-3 at half against an Eastern Michigan team that we should definitely come out and be way better than is concerning. But we have come out of halftime in many a game like this before and been far better in the second half. So we are going to attempt to do exactly that here, as DJ Dugar is going to continue to be the big explosive option for us. As 3rd and 8 is upon us now. Have to look for the 1st. Can we get a little bit more time to throw the ball than we did on the last drive? And no is the answer, as once again, there is really nothing going on downfield and can't find any room to escape. So we will kick the field goal here and almost get blocked. We won't get the running into the kicker penalty, even though we should. And we will go up 17-3. We're back in the red zone again. In fact, we are essentially on the 1-yard line, as we are going to change the play up to a run here because I didn't realize we were so close. And we'll just let DJ Dugar Jr. walk this one in for us. Why not? As we will go up 24-3 as the third quarter is coming to a close. I think we felt the struggle here in a large portion of this game through the air. However, still have had an efficient day moving the ball as our offense continues to get down in the red zone into scoring position. As guess what? Or guess who, I suppose, as DJ Dugar is going to get his third touchdown of the day here. Going to keep handing it off to him if we're on the 1-yard line. They can't stop that. And our offensive line has definitely been much improved in the run game, if nothing else. As they are going to go for it on 4th and 7 here in desperation time. He's going to look to pass. And what a throw, as they are going to find a touchdown here late. I was supposed to be playing that zone. However, I was more worried about them dropping it off to the running back on the drag, and I ended up getting burnt there. Stuff happens. Can't play perfectly, as it's 2nd and 1 here. We're going to hand off to Dugar, and he's going to make a huge cut and pick up a first for us. And on 1st and 10 here, we'll maybe run the play action. We've set up the run pretty well on our last couple of attempts, as we are just going to have to throw away here. Just struggling to find stuff in the air here in the second half. Maybe we are getting a little bit too greedy with what we are looking for through the air, and they are now kind of adjusting to that, so we have to start looking for the underneath stuff again, as we will find Emmett Longo, and they're going to throw the pass interference penalty that time, and we will take that. It gives us a net positive on our yardage there, and now we have 1st and goal on the 2. I think we go give Emmett Longo a chance up top. Oh, couldn't see the bar. And they have made it a lot harder to time the one-on-one catches. So I don't know. I don't know how easy it's going to be. It was definitely, I think, a little bit too easy. But now it's definitely too hard to go up there and win a one-on-one ball. I mean, we've got 2 guys here on our roster who I think should both be able to go up and win a one-on-one shot, as we're going to maybe give Romel Stevens a one-on-one shot, as we managed to time that one up, but the ball isn't there. And up big late in this game, we'll go ahead and just take the 3. No need to push our luck. So, as you can see, the green windows have gotten incredibly tiny. I'm okay with them being smaller than they were, but the fact that they are minuscule like that is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, it is going to be impossible to get any sort of big play downfield. And I'm fine with, it really should be that there's 2 different setups for competitive versus offline play with that. But soapbox aside here, we walk away with a 34-10 win. And Briggs Cherry continues to be a very solid pickup for us, as we are now 3-0 to start the season, and I think he is definitely a big part of the reason why, as I don't know why is that the highlight we're seeing, dude? Okay, I guess that's the only highlight they have of Briggs Cherry this game. That's a little disappointing, as we will take a look at the stats now. As we were seeing, he was 16 of 28 today for 208 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Continues to get more and more efficient, as DJ Dugar goes over 100 on the ground with 2 touchdowns. And then Briggs Cherry, once again, continues to be a huge threat on the ground, despite being a pocket passer. And Deuce Lawrence continues to contribute in his small way. And then receiving-wise, Prince Hall had himself another big game today. Romel Stevens also had 5 catches for 56. And then Emmett Longo, 4 for 74 and a touchdown. And then defensively, yeah, we were definitely getting to them today, as we had quite a few tackles for loss. Corey Walls had himself a couple sacks. No interceptions, though. And we will move on to next week with 3 wins in our pocket and a ton of momentum behind us as we get ready for conference play. Okay, so we are here in week 4. We've already done practice, and when we hop in here to recruiting, we are in good shape for Sammy Antoine now, as Ole Miss has dropped out of his recruitment, which is a little bit concerning because, like, now we've spent $350 NIL on him, and did we really need to? I don't know, but we've already spent it at this point, so no taking it back, because that's only going to harm our recruitment of him. And like I said, he is a gem. There is no way that he does not become a big part of what we want to do. And then after our visit here, we do make up a ton of ground on Oklahoma here. And if we could nail down Pat Hawley's cell, we might have a chance here nearing the end of his recruitment. However, we still do not know. It probably is Hometown Hero. It is Hometown Hero. Okay, so we can put the hard sell down for him. We don't have great program tradition. Unfortunately, we can't do much about that yet. And then we still don't know really enough about Bruce John to put a sell down on him. We have him coming for a visit next week, but things are going to get really close up until that point if we can't figure out his sell soon. And then Jay Tutt here, we're moving up over Oklahoma as we're trying to figure out what his sell is as well, because obviously you can see we don't know much about him. And then, okay, so Viliami Hope here, who is in his top 5, as we should have moved up for him after after his visit. We're still not in the best shape, but I think if we start putting a sell down on him, I think he feels a little bit better, as I think his sell is a gym rat sell, which is not the best for us. And then we do have a couple more people getting into their top 5. Do we have... Okay, so we definitely want to bring our tackle prospect in on the same week we've got our halfback. And then he's the only other one that is... Okay, so yeah, then we'll go ahead and bring in Glenn Thomas this week as well. He won't get any bonuses, but we really couldn't get any bonuses for his visit anyway. We do know his sell, though, so we can go ahead and put his pitch down. But we're going to go ahead and adjust everything else for this week, and then if there's anything else that is worthy of an update, I will let you know. Okay, so no real update as far as recruiting goes, aside from what we had already talked about. So it becomes time now for our last matchup of episode 8. And we will have a big matchup here against UNLV. So let's hop in here and let's see how we do with our first road test of the year against the Rebels. Away from home for the first time this season, we will walk in here to, what's the name of the stadium? Is it SunTrust Stadium or Allegiant Stadium? That's right. As we will face off against UNLV. We are undefeated. They are undefeated. This is our very last out-of-conference matchup before we dive into what should be a very interesting conference season for us, because the expectation is that this team is walking into the title game. As we get started here, we are already up 7-0 as we're going to hand off to Deuce Lawrence, make a man miss, and score on our first controlled snap of the game. And UTSA is off to a hot start away from home. Oh, and we score a big passing touchdown as well. So maybe going out and getting those big outside receivers really did us some good here, as we will end the first quarter up big in this game. I can't believe the success we have had to start this season. I think we are in for maybe a very special season from this Roadrunners team, as we cannot pick the first up that time, but we will be given an opportunity to kick a long field goal, as the bar is shaky and the meter is very quick. But our kicker does not care. He's going to put that up and through. 58-yarder for our kicker. And we are up 24, up 31-3 here before halftime. And we are also in the red zone. So this team is making some noise to start this season as DJ Dugar is just going to walk in. It is too easy for this team so far this season, as UNLV will go down and get some points and get some more points, but we have put up 45 points of our own in this game. And 3rd and 10 here. We're up big. We could go take a shot, but I don't see a reason to do that as I cannot time the catch that time, and it will be 4th and 10. And UNLV will go down and get another score here in the 3rd. So our defense is having a little bit of a problem keeping the points off the board here in the second half. But the offense is having no problems putting them on the board. So we're giving and we're taking, if you will, as we will dump it off to DJ Dugar Jr. there and pick up the first, as Briggs Cherry has 4 touchdowns and 200 yards through the air today. Not necessarily having the biggest game as far as passing yards, but I guarantee you he's got like 50 yards on the ground because he is just an electric dual threat despite being a pocket passer archetype. And nothing doing on the run there, so they're going forward on 4th down here. What a absolute crushing showing this has been for us, away from home, no less. You know, first road test of the year, things could have gone very poorly, but we had a fantastic performance as our cornerback will manage to knock the ball out there. I believe that is Cordell Bowie, the redshirt freshman cornerback who got so much better in the offseason to the point that he is going to play some real heavy snaps for us at the cornerback position. Cornerback and wide receiver were 2 positional groups that I think, unfortunately, we didn't get a lot better in, and that's a shame, but we can't be the best everywhere, but we certainly have the best running back in the conference, maybe 2 of the best running backs in the conference, as we will score. It is 58-24 in this game. We are giving UNLV the belt, the pants, the shirt. We're giving them the whole outfit. We're butt booty naked in this game because we're giving UNLV all of it. Yeah, no, I'm sticking with that 10 toes down on it. They're butt booty naked as well. Imagine the grippers on the floor as it is 3rd and 7 for us here. And we will drop back, step up because they are playing some good coverage, and pick up the first with Briggs Cherry. Did I see 185 rushing yards for Briggs Cherry in this game? Huh? Okay. We'll have to take a look at the stats here as DJ Dugar Jr. is going to walk into the end zone again. He's throwing up the Heisman here as it is becoming a nightmarish game if you are a Rebel fan. A 65-24 slaughtering at your home field as Briggs Cherry has 234 yards and 4 touchdowns, but I don't think that's what we will be most impressed by when we look at the stats here, as I am maybe witnessing one of the greatest quarterback seasons from a super high overall quarterback on my roster. We will take a look here. Let's see. So Briggs Cherry, 22 of 29 today, 234, 2 touchdowns through the air. However, 7 carries for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. DJ Dugar Jr. has 3 touchdowns on 13 carries and 55 yards. And Deuce Lawrence has himself 7 carries for 46. I mean, I did not expect that when we brought him in, he was going to put up these kind of numbers, as Prince Hall has yet another big game here. Emmett Longo has himself 4 for 51. Parker Fulgham put up 3 catches for 38 yards. And unfortunately, Romel Stevens did not get himself involved. In fact, it looks like he got himself hurt in this game. And then defensively here, we had quite a few guys who were putting up good games tackle for loss-wise, got a couple sacks, and produced a couple turnovers, which we definitely have been struggling with. Solid game, all things considered, and we are 4-0. First time in Dynasty history we've started 4-0. But we can't get complacent now. We are walking into conference play next episode as we move ahead to next week. And we will have recruits that we need to finish recruitments for, and probably have to start over from as Pat Holly verbally commits to Oklahoma. So we'll have some recruitments to assess and maybe pivot on as Briggs Cherry wins another Player of the Week award for the American Conference. Truly, as he wins National Player of the Week as well. So truly electric performance from our transfer quarterback here. And we will see if he can continue this momentum next episode against Tulsa. So if you did enjoy today's episode and you are loving seeing our UTSA Roadrunners continue to play great football here to start the season, as we are ranked number 12 in the country, you can see here as we look in the user settings, we are... Oh, is it not the user settings? I think it's the league settings. See, this is how you know I didn't change it, because I don't even know where it is. We are still playing on Heisman difficulty. So we have just been playing such great football that even I can't blow it for us. So if you did enjoy today's episode, please leave a like, comment down below what you think of our rebuild so far and what you think this season is going to produce for us. And while you're down there and looking in that area, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so my small channel can continue to grow and reach more people, and we can continue to make more videos and rebuild another team after we bring a couple championships here to San Antonio. I think our goal is to bring 3 national titles to UTSA, and then we will move on to our next school. I think that gives us the most time to have a great story and actually be a dynasty, and we will then move on to the next team. And I will hope to see you in another episode very soon. Take care.